Welcome everybody to a lovely Dark Elves Gaming stream. It's been a while since I've done a stream, and definitely the very first time in covering this game that we're going to be doing today, which is a game called Art of War Legions, which is a mobile game. So it's the first mobile game that I have covered on the channel, so it's gonna be good. We're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be doing a troop tier list. So I'll be showing you guys all the troops that are available in the game as of May 2022, because they've only recently added 3 new units to the roster, which is really cool. I can't remember how many units there are in total at the moment. I'm trying to count them. Math, what's that? 13, 26, 39, 48, I'm gonna say 48 units, so a lovely mix of units that we're going to be looking at. Which ones are top tier S rank, and then which ones are F in chat fail units. So it's gonna be fun. So welcome in to those in chat. Welcome guys. Welcome in Yin Yang. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for chatting. So I would class myself as pretty new to the mobile game. When I say new, I'm gonna say it's like about 6 months. I'd say whenever you're really getting into a game, you would be classed as new if you're under 6 months. Anybody that's over that is going to be a little bit more of a seasoned player, or at least a bit of a veteran, knowing what they're doing, knowing what they're saying. So when I'm coming in and doing my tier list, it is obviously on a basis of my knowledge so far, and I've only been doing it, like I said, roughly about six months. I'm doing okay. I'm in a good clan, and if anybody is wondering, with the background we've got at the moment, that is a designed background by Pixel Design, an absolute awesome designer, and has done the logo as well. You see right in the corner there with the big H. I'm part of the Hunters clan, so if you do end up giving this game a go, and you would like to be in a very open and friendly community, the clan is the Hunters, which really good group of people. They also have a Discord. I've popped their Discord link in the description below as well, so if anybody wants to head over there, check them out, have a chat. But if you're looking, obviously, if this is the first time of you getting into the grips of this game and starting afresh, the game is called Art of War Legions. It's a strategy. I would say it's a strategy, army building, unit building, fantasy game, because it's kind of set in, I would say, kind of like the medieval times, but it's in a very cartoony style. So I'd recommend it to a lot of people, because for me, I like the strategy of the game, where you've got to position your units, all your different units, in certain formations, and you get heroes as well. All the different heroes do different things. Really cool game. Wait a moment, this isn't Diablo. My usual love of Diablo. Although, hey, Diablo Immortal is coming out, I know. So we're just having we're gonna have a quick chat, quick chill, before we get into doing the tier list, which I will then, I'll cut the tier list out of the stream and do it as a separate video as well. If anybody else wants to re-look back over it, they don't have to watch all of the stream and all my waffle that I do. But yeah, anybody hyped for Diablo Immortal, I'm more hyped for it for the story, and that's it. The gameplay, it's very much Diablo 3, which I wasn't the biggest fan. I love the story, but the gameplay gameplay let itself down, because I'm a huge Diablo 2 fan myself. So yeah, if with this game as well, it's a very kind of like not idle mobile game, but you can just do it as a very chilled, open the game up, do a few battles. You've even got an auto function, like every day you're allowed, I think when you're free to play, if you do free to play, which I am, I will say I've not spent a penny on this game and I'm doing okay. Obviously, if you want to, you can spend money, which will allow you to access like bigger sort of rewards, like the premium items like gems and medals. You can purchase obviously more of those and stuff. I'm more of a free to play player myself, and you can still generate. That's what's great about this game, is you can generate gems and you can generate medals, all free to play. It just takes a bit longer. That's all. It takes a bit longer, or you can only do it limited per day sort of thing. But one obviously benefit when you do, if you do things like the packs and stuff, like all mobile games do have at the moment, is you get access to like the more elite heroes and things like that. You can buy bundles that'll have them in them guaranteed, where if you're free to play, it's not guaranteed. You know, the chances of them popping is a lot harder, things like that. So just like most mobile games. But yeah, so we're going to go through the list of all these units, and I will be placing them into positions of what I think, and I'll go into a bit of detail on some of them, especially the ones I know a bit about, and then there will probably be a few units that I've either not experienced myself fully, so I'll do a speculation of what I've seen when I've fought like other armies and things like that, and I've seen those units in there, and go on what sort of abilities they have, and things like that. So yeah, looking forward to going through the list, and anybody that's already played this game and has got the experience, I'm sure you'll be having a few comments on what you think is top grade and what is low grade. So yeah, we'll load that up in a moment. So yeah, I hope you all had a lovely weekend so far. Myself, I've kept myself busy. I woke up super early today. Woke up at 5:15 in the morning because I'm insane. I decided that I wanted to go and climb a mountain this morning, and I wanted to obviously beat any crowds that might be going, because the weather was actually quite good first thing in the morning. So I climbed to the top of a mountain in Wales called Pen y Fan. Welcome, Rennie. Elsies. Hello, Rennie. How are you doing? Welcome. So yeah, climbed to the top of the mountain. I got up at 5:15, drove over to the place, which took about 45 minutes to drive there. Got there about just around 6 o'clock, just after 6 o'clock in the morning, and then started my climb up the mountain. The first 20 minutes was, oh my god, it makes me feel old. I was out of breath so many times. I had to stop. So many times, probably about 6 times. Welcome, Millie. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Welcome. I'm still waking up myself. Yes, that's it. On the other side of the world there, Annie. Got yourself lost in Stardew. Oh, good game though. Good game. Love those things. So yeah, the hardest part was climbing the mountain for the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was just really just out of breath and felt sorry for myself. But then I pushed through and got to like what would be classed as kind of like the first like plateau of the mountain, where like you're at a decent height, and then it flattens out a bit before then it goes up even higher, obviously to the top. So I got to that plateau, took a little breather, just took pictures and looked around, which I have put in my Discord. So if anybody's already in my Discord, great, you will have seen about 1 million pictures. But yeah, the Discord link is in the description below. So, also, while I'm thinking about descriptions and all that sort of stuff, if you guys can like the stream, the usual self-promotion stuffy, click that like button, because the more people that click that, the more the stream gets pushed up somewhere from someone who doesn't click the like button. So, if you haven't done so already, please click that like button. Hell yeah. I know. But yeah, got to that plateau, evened out, started walking quite nicely then, and then literally just pushed to the top then, and by I think it was about 7:10 in the morning, so before many of you people may have been up, I was at the top of a mountain that is the highest point in South Wales. So yeah, that was it was an incredible thing. I've done it a few times now, and I've actually done to the top of the highest mountain in Wales. I've done that as well, but that one takes about 4 or 5 hours to climb, where this one took, well, about an hour, roughly an hour, and I was tired and I stopped quite a few times, so I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, now it's just about and then obviously coming back down was crazy. Coming down the mountain. Yeah, definitely. Coming down the mountain was actually a lot trickier. I will admit, it was a little trickier. It's definitely pain on the old thighs and calves, but we got there in the end. We got there. So yeah, how are you all been in chat? All you lovely chatters there, thank you very much. Hope you've all been having a lovely Saturday, whether you've been working, whether you've been chilling, whether you've been doing some bits and bobs around your houses or going out and enjoying the sun. As soon as I came back from my mountain thing, I did the grown-up thing of doing some jobs, cleaned the car, washed the front of my house, and then I had some food, and then it started to rain, so I stayed inside and chilled out. Oh, dear. But yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. It's good to be back to be doing a little bit of streaming. Just a nice chill one. Also, if you're part of the Discord as well, we will be having a movie night this evening, which is going to be a horror movie night. We're going to be doing that about 8 PM UK time, so looking forward to that. It's Sunday. Yes, it is. It is Sunday indeed. Exactly, Rennie. We've all been there. We've all done that. All experienced that. So let's jump in. And let's look at all these lovely pictures that I've had to download from my phone to the PC, and I think I did a good job. So let's grab these and boom. Here we are. It's the tier list. Whoop whoop. We have a tier list. How beautiful. Look at that. So you got S rank, which is obviously the highest, the best. It's freaking amazing. You got A, then all the way down to F. F in chat for the shite. For the most terrible of units. So if anybody hasn't already checked out this game, I would recommend it. You should be able to pick it up in the store, wherever Android store you got, Apple store you got. It's called Art of War. You can even have battles with me, and you could also join our clan, which is the Hunters, which one I am not obviously the head of or anything. I've joined them, but a lovely bunch of people chatting every day. They have their own Discord, which is in the Discord, is in the description in the chat as well if you want to join them, and my one is there as well. So yeah, these are all the units. So you see how lovely they are. How many did I say earlier? 48? 48 lovely units to choose from. You'll have units, you'll see, well, you might not be able to see clearly, but you'll have some units that'll be just clear, like just blank here, like a grey border. Now they're classed as normal units. Then you've got the blue ones, which, am I right in saying that? I'm just double checking the... you've got epic. Let me get this right, because I don't want to mess it. I'll say it wrong, I'm sure. Because you've got normal, epic, Let's have a look. So you've got common, sorry, not normal, common. So you've got common, which is grey. You've got blue, which is rare. Purple, which is epic. And orange, which is legendary. There we go. I got that, okay? I got that. Those are the levels. So you'll see some, this one's like common, this one's epic, this one, no, this one's legendary, this one's epic, and this one's rare. So yeah, I got like nice little mix of units here, and I will be going through the tier list. So let's start. So the first one we've got is the lovely Archer Boy. Now, classed as a common unit. Now, I know what a lot of people will be thinking. Common? Oh, all the common ones will be just down here somewhere. And you'll probably be right. But actually, Archer, I honestly think if you can get that up, and all the units can get up to level 10, but if you're just doing it normally, you'll get them up to level 8, and then level 9 requires medals and gems, and level 10 requires you to have a hero up to level 15, I think it is, to get them to level 10, and you'll still need medals and gems to get that. So most people will get their units to level 8. Now, a level 8 archer is actually pretty decent. Like, there's another archer in the game, which we will come to, who is absolutely amazing, but a lot harder to get hold of. So if I was to put the archer somewhere, I would actually put it probably in D. I think a D rank is pretty fair for the archer, because I wouldn't say it's a crap unit. It definitely has its uses, and it's not too bad. So mid game or mid process into the game, and I think they're quite handy until you come across the better archers. And once you get to the better archers, even a lower level of that archer, say like level 3 or level 4 of that other archer, is better than a level 8 archer. So that's where I'm gonna throw that lovely archer. Also, if you guys that are new to this game itself, if there's any of these units that you think looks really, really cool, please type them in chat and let us know what you think. Now, one of my favorite units, now this one is classed as a common unit as well. Now this one is the Ballista. Now ballistas, I love a ballista. They're really, 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 really good. They can cause critical damage. They do tons of damage if they actually do critical. I think it's like 200%, 200% critical damage, and the chance of it casting that is like 30%. And when it gets to like, because I've got a couple at level 9, they do huge amounts of damage, like decent amount, 700 damage I think they do, and it jumps up to 840 if they get to level 10. Now, having a couple of blisters in your army, as you can imagine, right at the back or near the back of your formation, smashing the units at the front. If you've got lots of infantry blocking the enemy getting to the ballista, really, really handy. Now, ballista for me, I would actually put a ballista in it's between B and C for me. Like, I do really like it, and I'm kind of mid game, so I'm gonna edge it at B, because I do like the use of it, and I think most people will have ballistas in their army, even mid to end game. At some point they'll have them at least up to level 8, maybe even further to 9 and 10. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna put the lovely ballista. Now the next one is another common unit. The common unit of a bandit. Now bandits are quite handy, but I think they're quite replaceable with other units. The bandit for me, even though they got their uses mid-game and even end-game, when you get them to the higher levels of 8 and above, I personally wouldn't get the bandits to level 9 or 10. That's just my personal preference. I'd rather go for other units. So for me, a bandit would go in at C. So there you go. We've had 3 commons. Now, our very first legendary. And one that I'm not a fan of myself. It can get huge amounts of HP. It does okay damage, but I don't like its special ability. Not a big fan of that. So for me, having this unit in your army, if I see it in someone's army, I tend to actually attack that army because I'm like, well, if you got that, I'll find something better to fight you with. So I'm actually going to put, it's a legendary item as well. I'm going to put that as the, you know, I'm sure people will go, yo, you're an idiot. But I don't care. Now, brawlers, absolutely brawling. We love a brawler. A brawler is classed as an epic. Yes, epic unit. Now, brawler is an absolute beast. Has tons of health. When it gets up to level 8, it's got about 11,000 health, does about 400 odd damage, but then when you take it to 9 it goes up to 19,700 odd damage, nearly 800 actually. But it also has a really good perk, which is something called Withstand. Once it receives quite a few attacks from an enemy, it creates a magic shield that reduces the damage to friendly troops around them. Now that's really handy. You have a couple of brawlers in your army and then they get hit a few times, they'll put that shield up and help everybody around them. So really, really handy. Now this is my first A grade, 100%, without a doubt. Now next one, we've got the Cactus. Now Cactus, I thought Cactus comes under rare? Was it common? No, it's rare. Yeah, it's rare. It's blue. It's blue. Now Cactus is, I find, really easy to get. Like whenever you actually use your gold coins, which is the like basic currency in the game that you can earn just by fighting battles, the Cactus is quite easy to get hold of, and you can level, like I think at one point I had about 8 like level 8 cactuses. It's crazy how much you get. Now they're like, I would put cactuses in place of things like the bandits and some of the other lower level units, because they are stronger, they got a lot of health, and they can keep the enemy busy while your other units are doing more damage. So for me, the Cactus is probably high grade C, so ahead of the bandits at least. So I'm not a big fan of them towards the end. Now I've literally got rid of all my cactuses from my army now, and I'm moving on to much higher and stronger units. Now, next one, now you've got obviously the Catapult. Now a Catapult is like a Ballista. It is a siege weapon, but for me the Catapult is not as good as the Ballista. The Catapult does have a special ability, which is it shoots burning rock, scorches the target area, dealing lasting damage to enemies there. So if it throws the bomb, it can cause fire in the area, which then hurts units around them. Very low sort of damage on it, but I much prefer the Ballistas. Now if you had a level 8 Catapult, you're only doing about just under 500 damage, where a Ballista is doing, well, I say the Ballista does a little bit less, but it's faster. So I'm going to put the Catapult, because you don't tend to use Catapults towards the end game, so I'm going to put that in where the Archer is. There we go. So I'm going to put that where the Archer is. We're going to D grade. Now then, we have got a first purple. No, a first purple. Brawler was a first purple. Which is now the epic again. So we've got the Dark Witch. Now the Dark Witch is really cool. I think every army needs to have a Dark Witch, because the Dark Witch has got an ability that actually basically curses the enemies and turns them into pumpkins. And once they're pumpkins, they cannot move and they cannot attack. So every attack the Dark Witch does curses the target, and then the curse turns them to a pumpkin. Now that is really good for crowd control, and just stopping units from attacking, moving, so your units can get in there and do more damage. Now, would this be my first S tier? Considering you would only have one of them, I don't think it's up there for S tier for myself. I would probably put it as A, but I'd put it as like not as good as the Brawler. Brawler would by far be a better choice. Next one then is Daemon. Now Daemon, not a fan. It is literally a 1 unit. So you'll find with like Brawlers, you have 9 Brawlers in a pack. Witch you have 1, Ballista you have 1, Cactus you have 9, Bandit you have 9, Archer you have 9, Catapult you have 1, and then Beastmaster you have 1. Well, a bear and a Viking guy. Daemon is just 1 person. The Daemon does have a lot of health if you level him up. The Daemon, I would actually put the Daemon in the same rank as the Beastmaster. E. You're not absolutely terrible, as in F grade. Not got an F grade yet, but yeah, it's not up there. It's an E grade. Next we have a Fire Mage. Now Fire Mages, mid game. I've got rid of most of my Fire Mages now because I've found better units than them to use. They can be handy. Obviously the fire has an area of effect, which is really, really handy. But this one's kind of like down the middle for me. So this is kind of like CD maybe, but it's definitely better than the Archer and the Catapult. Would it be better than the Bandit? Bandit's definitely got some benefits too. It's in this region, so I'm kind of going. I'm C or D. Is I'm torn. It's either high D or mid C. Is it better than a Bandit? Bandit. I'd probably use it. I'd probably use that. See, look, that's the first one I've been torn on. Like, properly torn. I'd probably put him as the C grade. Now then, here is the Archer. It's the Frost Archer. And without a doubt, the first S rank. Without a doubt. Absolutely without a doubt. The Frost Archer is absolutely amazing. Everybody wants to have at least like 6 of these in their army. I've got I think I've got 2 at level 6 at the moment. They've got decent health, they've got good physical attack, just under 500 attack, just over 7,000 if they're at level 8. So my one's only level 6, which is just under 5,000 and just over 350 physical attack. But their biggest thing is they've got chill. Oh yeah, they're ready to chill. So the arrows they shoot reduce the enemy's attack and movement speed. 3 arrows will freeze enemy troops, and 6 arrows will freeze an enemy hero. So if a Frost Archer goes for a hero, can actually freeze the hero completely, and the hero in the army is obviously can literally survive for ages because their health is completely different to the troops. But once a Frost Archer hits another unit, it's got just over 50% in the reduction of its attack speed, and then 75% in its movement. So you can imagine having a few of these archers shooting at all troops and heroes, just having a chance to freeze them and slow them down, is just so powerful, so powerful. So our very first S rank, the Frost Archer, without a doubt. Now then, we have got the Goblin Tech. Now Goblin Tech, what a fun one. So this one is a goblin that carries around a machine pack on its backpack, and it basically builds cannons. Now if you can position these in a place where your other units are protecting it, he can drop down quite a few cannons. Like, I think I've managed to get about 6 or 7 cannons, 6 to 8 cannons maybe down, and the cannons then sit there shooting away at all units around them. Even if the goblin guy is gone and killed, the cannons still sit there until they're destroyed. Now the health on them, I don't think it actually says like what the health of the cannons are. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't say how much health the actual cannon has afterwards. I don't think it has the same amount as the goblin or anything like that, but it, you know, it at least takes a few hits before it's then destroyed. So if you can keep enemies at a distance, especially if you've got frost archers, Goblin Tech, have one of those out really handy. Now this one I'd say is definitely in the B rank. It's not as good as the Ballista, I'd say. So I'm going to say there, B. I think that's pretty fair. Now then, we've got, I gotta get the name right. They're called Goblin Cassies. So you may wonder what the heck that is. Well, it's a goblin with a exploding barrel, and you can imagine what happens. It blows itself up. Actually, really handy use. Really handy use. In some situations, you can have them at the back of your army, or you can have them at the front of your army. And if they then push forward and hit the enemy in the front, they literally can take out quite a lot of health and leave like flames on the floor as well, causing some lasting damage as well. So quite handy ones to have. And I've seen people use high level ones of these, and they can really decimate an army early on, and then later. Basically, in a nutshell. Now, I actually think this is definitely not a B grade. It's a C grade, and it is above the Cactus, I'd say. That's where I'm putting them. You nailed it, Rennie. Well done. You nailed it. Now, the next one is called... what are they called? Harbinger. Harbinger of Fire. Now, these ones, for me, are just a placeholder. They're good if you can, because you can level these up quite easily early on in the game. They come, you know, you can get these a lot when you're spinning your cards, but they kind of trickle off towards sort of mid-level to high level. You're not really going to use them. So I'm actually, still not F rank. They're down here, so they're better. They're worse than all these guys. So Beastmaster, Demon, then this them. E, straight up E. Now then, we've got the Jailer. The Jailer. Oh, I hate these guys. They're just there. They can fly anywhere on the map. Yeah, that's cool, but overall, they're just effing chat. So guys in chat, just effing chat on these ones. Not have no abilities. Yeah, just terrible. Just terrible units across the board. Really not impressed by them. Then we've got Bombers. Now Bombers, I wouldn't say they're terrible. They've got their uses early on in the game, but same again, they trickle off quite quickly. They're probably worse than the Harbingers. So E for the Bombers. Now then, we've got the Ice Mages. Now, personally, I love the Ice Mages. Ice Mages, I think, are underused in the mid to end game. Because even though, like, if you got a level 8, they got 8,000 health and they got just over 400 magic attack. But one of their biggest things is obviously an ice mage. It targets an area, dealing the damage to the enemies and slowing them down. Now, if I've got an army of ballistas at the back and goblin tech guys and witches and frost archers and things like that, well, no, if I haven't got frost archers, if I don't have frost archers, ice mages are hugely handy because they can slow enemies' attack down by 65% and their movement of an enemy down by 85%. That's huge. So for me, the ice mage, I honestly think it's low B. It's low B. I like the Ice Mage. I'm sorry. Anybody who disagrees? Ice Mage. Have it in your army. They're handy. Especially if you don't have Frost Archers. These are much easier to get than Frost Archers. So, very handy to get. Now then, Infantry! They're shit. Probably better than Jailers slightly. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on their HP. What's the HP difference if you get one to level 8? An infantry is 7,400. What's a jailer? A jailer is... how much? 7,400. It's literally the same. But I think infantry do a little bit more damage. So, yeah, there you go. Another F in chat. Another F in chat, everybody. Awesome. We got a few. Now then, Inquisitors. Now, I was quite surprised with these because the one thing is why these guys aren't that great is they don't have any abilities. If they had an ability like, say, the Paladin, they'd actually be really good because Inquisitors, they do a lot of damage compared to like a Paladin, but a Paladin has an ability, which is it does a shield, but the Paladin only shields people with low health, so it's kind of like useless if all your units have got higher health. So that's why the Brawler is so much better. So you usually go Brawler, then if you don't have Brawlers, you do Paladins, and if you don't have Paladins, you go with Inquisitors. But Inquisitors, not that great compared to others. So I think the Inquisitor is probably going to sit in the E grade. Probably, which would I prefer? I probably want Harbingers over them. The only ability they have is to F off. They're not in F. They're not F. They're slightly better. Slightly better. Next ones are Iron Guards. Iron Guards are better than infantry, but still shocking. Yeah, so F grade. Like, a lot of this is like, you know, early game, you take what you get. You take what you get. But like, if you can get these to level 8, yeah, they can be quite handy with the shields over what the infantry have. But overall, like, they've got no abilities. Like, if you got a level 8 one, they've got 8,000 health compared to a infantry which has got 7,000. So yeah, Iron Guards are exactly where they should be. F grade, top end, compared to the other two that are currently there. Now then, my favorite, the Magic Apprentice. We love these. Now, a Magic Apprentice is a common unit, but in my opinion, it's an S rank unit. It's an S rank unit, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Because I'd say nearly every army will have them, and they will probably take them up to they'll take them up to level 10 without a doubt. And I've already started getting my level 9 ones up. MAs are brilliant. Chuck them in the bin. Yeah, we'll chuck the Iron Guards into the bin, yes. But yeah, MAs, I honestly think they're S rank. Every army I would say that I come across, even high level, will have MAs. MAs are quite handy because what they do is they fly to the back of the enemy's army, so fight them from behind. You can't go wrong with that. I'd say S rank, without a doubt. Because you use them at the start of the game and you get them at the start of the game, which is great. So all around, I cannot fault the MAs at all. They're amazing. Next one is the Meteor Golem. Now, Meteor Golems, gotta love a Meteor Golem. They are chunky boys. They got tons of health. Even if you get them to just like level 8 before you start using medals on them. A Meteor Golem has 34,000 health at level 8, and it's got just under 700 damage. It is a solo unit, but it's such a tank. Such a tank. And then it jumps up massively if you can upgrade it using obviously the premium items as gems and medals. It goes from 34,000 up to 59,000 and then 1,200 damage. So huge amounts of damage. Meteor Golems also do a what they call a rock throw, which is a Meteor Golem throws a huge stone at an enemy, which obviously does magical damage compared to its normal physical damage. Now, Meteor, do I put him S rank? Is he I'd say in more situations he's very, very, very usable. Not every army will probably use a lot of them, but you would probably have one. So I'd actually put that the Meteor Golem is a top end A rank, slightly ahead of the Brawlers because of the sheer health that they hold. So they're very tanky units, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for holding them, and they do a huge amount of damage as well. So I'm going to put him as top end A. That's where I'm going. Now then, what we got? Necromancers. Now, I will say Necromancers get a lot of stick and don't get used a lot. There are certain situations. One thing about this game that you might like as well is there's not just one mode in the game. There are several different modes. You've got different challenges, which have different scenarios, different like mini bosses and things like that you can fight, where some of them require like what the Necromancer does. He raises the undead, and then the undead walk forward and blindly die. Really handy, especially to keep the bosses busy while you're doing damage to them. Now, I love the Necromancer. It's a very cool unit. I probably used the Necromancer for, out of the 6 months I've been playing, I'd probably used the Necromancer for 4 months of it. I've got a couple of level 8s already. Really, really good unit. Really good unit. I don't use it anymore. I only use it in certain situations or if I'm doing certain challenges. But a very, very good unit, very good tanky one. Now, for me, I'd say this is probably... I'm going to go C, but top end C. So I'm going to say, is it as good as the Goblin Cassies, which is a one-shot wonder? Yeah, I think it is. So I'm going to put him there. There you go, Necromancer. C grade. Well done, you passed. Next one, nuns. Nuns. Now, nuns do no damage at all. They don't damage in any way, shape, or form. They are purely healers. Now, the higher you level up the nun, the more it heals. So if you only have a level 1 nun, it will heal for 130. If you have a level 8, which is where you would do like free to play without using medals and gems, it heals 500 odd, just over 500. Decent health, and their magic ability is heals friendly forces in range and removes the stunning, binding and freezing, which is really, really good. It doesn't just heal, it does 3 other things, so 4 things to do. Now, a nun is definitely something you should have, be it even having 1 in your army will make a big difference, especially if you got them around like melee units. Really, really, really handy. So I would actually say that the nun is an A tier, but the low end probably nuns would probably get used a bit more than the witches. So I would go with the nun for the healing ability. Next one, the Auger. Oh, the Auger. Now, Augers, especially when you play through this game leveling up, so you'll have a main battling area where you level up and you aim to get to level 8,000, so it's 8,000 battles. You fight a lot of ogres, and ogres are a pain in the ass when you got bloody millions of them at you, which you do against the AI to level up. Now, ogres in your army, now towards mid to end game, anybody with an ogre in their army you will automatically attack, because an ogre at that sort of level shouldn't be there. Because there are so much better units to replace the ogre, and by that time you're hoping you've got Meteor Golems by that time. Now, ogres are tanky as shit. They have got so much health, it is crazy. They haven't got the highest, but they have got really good. So if you got an ogre to level 8, which is very doable, you've got 30,000 health to get through. And the ogre can slam down and bash people away. It doesn't like stun them, but it just repels them, so in like a circle. Now Ogres for me, once you get to a certain point, you don't use them. So for me, Ogres are handy, but you'll stop using them. And for me, it's probably high D. High D. Because I think you would easily use some of these guys a bit longer than you would use Ogres, in my opinion. Now then, we're going on to Orc Raiders. Riders. Is it Raiders? It's Raiders, I think. Hunters. Orc Hunters. Now, these are really fun units. These ones will jump forward. So you place them in your formation, and they will dive forward into the enemy army, which then focuses all of those enemies straight onto the Orc Hunters, which at that point gives all your other units a great chance to get their attacks off on them. They have decent amount of health, just under 10,000 at level 8, and then they jump up massively then to just under or just over 17,000 at level 9, with a lot of attack as well. They rush forward, really handy units. I'd honestly say that these ones are high tier B. I'd say they're even better than the Ballistas. Ballistas are obviously range, these ones aren't range, but yeah, I'd put that in the B tier. That's where I'm going with those. Paladins. Now, Paladins, they're good. They've got that heal factor. I'm going to say that these guys are just middle of the ground. You're waiting until you can get better units. A lot of people use Paladins because they've got a lot of them. So they can get their units up to level 8 quickly, and then they're just waiting till they can get better units like Brawlers and Meteor Golems and Orc Hunters and things like that. So I'm going to say that the Paladin is in the middle of the ground, there, just ahead of the Cactus. I think they're better than the Cactus. I might even say they're better than the Goblins, because Goblins are one-time blast, and then Paladins do have that protection for lower health units and things like that, and quite tanky, got a bit of health on them, so yeah, that's where I'm going to put them. Now the next one, Pelasts, without a doubt, S-grade. Pelasts are glorious. Pelasts, you need these in your army, simple as. Your main focus is to get about like 6 to 8 of these. If you can get like 6 level 8s, you've pretty much got a stonky army of javelin throwers. That's what they do. Pelasts are throwing spears at the enemy, keeping at a distance, and they're really good at like running backwards and throwing spears. So if someone's running at them, they can just walk backwards and start throwing. So really good, better than the MAs, I'd say, overall, but MAs are a lot easier to get than the Pelasts. So yeah, I'm putting them ahead of them because they are very good. And I'd say in most armies you'll have them. Most armies you'll have those. Now then, the next one I've had very little experience with, and it's a Pharaoh. Now a Pharaoh is a stonky boy. At level 8 he's got just under 10,000 health, then he jumps up to just dead on 17,000, but the magic damage it does is very good. 440 damage at level 8, and then 950 at level 9. Now the main reason that this one is good as well is its special ability. Now some units will have special abilities, as it won't. This one, it releases an ancient curse in a certain area that does lasting damage, so any enemy in that area will have some continuous damage, and get in their attack speed reduced by basically a quarter, or just under a quarter. So that's really handy. Now for me, it's the obtainability of this unit that lets it down. It's a really good unit if you can get it, but it's so hard to get because you can only get it in like your clan and at the end of your clan seasons, or sometimes they'll bring packs out and stuff, but most of the time that'll be pay to win. So for me, a pharaoh is good, but its obtainability lets it down, in my opinion, because trying to get a level 8 pharaoh, God, that'll be hard. So I am going to throw the pharaoh. I'm going to throw him into B, and I'm going to put him, just because of obtainability, he's really, really good and should be in A tier, but because he can't be obtained as easy, I'm going to put him there. B. So he ain't F, he's just a B. Now, next one, we have pilgrims. Now, pilgrims, I do like pilgrims if you don't have things like the brawlers. Now, pilgrims heal all nearby friendly units as an ability, but it's very low. It's only, I think it's like a 45 heal, so it's very low. But at level 8, they got over 11,000 health, just under 400 physical. They got a little bit of heal to all friendly all friendly troops around you. Now that is quite handy. I would probably put this in the middle somewhere. So I think this one is probably low end B. So I would probably put these just ahead of the ice mages. But there, that's where I put my pilgrims. Pharaoh is great, but it's impossible to get with free to play. Exactly, and that's why I've thrown him in B. I would have easily put Pharaoh into S, like low end S, high end A, if they weren't so impossible to get. It's so impossible to get. So I've thrown him in B because make him more achievable. Now then, we have what everybody desires, and they are obtainable. It is the pirate ships. We love pirate ships. Pirate ships are got kind of like two effects to them. They're really tanky to take the initial damage from the enemy, but what happens as well is the pirates holding the pirate ship will throw the pirate ship at the enemy, stunning them for a few seconds. So pirate ship needs to be in every army without a doubt, and I think a pirate ship does need to be high A, and I would say a couple of pirate ships, I'd even say ahead of the Meteor, because you can Meteor is a little bit harder to get. Pirate ships are more obtainable, so I'm going to push them there. Welcome Jax, welcome, and welcome Craig, welcome. Yes, I've got one Pharaoh level 1. I used him once, I was like, he's so crap, level 1. But yeah, so that's where I'm going to put pirate ships, top end A. Next, we've got the Priest Mage. Now, Priest Mages, the one reason I like these guys is the area of effect. Now, these can do considerable damage to the center of an enemy's army, which is really, really handy. It's got a fireball, which has that AoE. Now, what it does say is that it throws a powerful fireball at the enemy, and it will cause AoE damage equivalent to normal attack, and split out extra small fireballs to deal damage to enemies in a straight line. So if you put this like dead center of your army, and he throws that fireball straight ahead, boom, it does that better AoE damage ahead. Now, obviously, if you get one to level 8, which most people can get these to level 8, they're not unobtainable. They're really quite easy to get. They're just over 500 damage. Now, can you imagine you throw the fireball, 500 damage, then it shoots out more fireballs. Oof. You're just getting tons of damage thrown out. Really, really handy to have. Now, for me, I find the Priest Mage is better than the Fire Mage and the Ice Mage. So this one is actually going to go into B rank, and I'm going to say that I would I pick the Priest Mage over the pilgrims, I probably would. Well, would I? No, I don't think I would. No, I'd probably prefer to have more pilgrims than I would a priest mage, because it's just a 1 unit. I would put him there, and he's definitely ahead of the ice mage. Don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying this list, or at least enjoying the stream, please do click that like button. The more likes we can get, the more the stream gets pushed around, and that's what we like. And apparently there's a trick, so if you all unlike the stream and then like it again, apparently that works brilliantly. Do that. Now then, we're over halfway. Brilliant. Now then, we're on to what I guess was a Halloween event, and then everybody loved this unit because it's a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin guy, pumpkin guard. The PGs. Now, pumpkin, he has a cool ability called the Pumpkin Mock, which he will taunt a nearby enemy and reduce their attack every 3 seconds, and it reduces it just under 35%. And that's every 3 seconds, and it just taunts them, keeping them annoyed. Their health is really good, so if you get 1 to level 8, which is doable, like they are a little trickier to get hold of free to play, but are more obtainable than some other units. Huge amounts of damage, like 700 at level 8, really good. Obviously it jumps once you put a bit of medals and gems into it. It jumps from 700 to 1200, which is a massive jump for 1 level, and then obviously the health goes up, nearly doubles. The Pumpkin Guard is, without a doubt, you should at least have 1 or 2 at the back of your formation, just to keep those pesky enemy MAs, away from your the back of your army. So I would say the pumpkin is in the region of, I'm gonna say pumpkin is definitely here somewhere. Is it better than a brawler? It's they're kind of even, I'd say. I kind of even, but I think maybe pumpkin's got the edge because it's got that every 3 seconds it does something like really useful, where this one will only activate if it's constantly taking the damage. So if it's running around, it's not doing something, where the pumpkin will do it every 3 seconds. So I'm going to give it the edge there. So A grade for pumpkin boy. Now this one, the Rhino. So we've got the Rhino Knight. Now the Rhino Knight does have a special ability called Trample, which it charges at the enemy, repels the enemy, and causes general attack damage. At the beginning of the first charge, there will be a straight line charge. After that, the target will be randomly selected to charge. Now, this one is quite a tanky boy. He's got a decent amount of health. At 30,000. Quite a lot of actual damage for what it does at level 8. But what I find, just like the Pharaoh, you don't get them a lot. So what I find is that if you were to get one to level 8 and then push to level 9, then the jump is huge. You're looking at going from 960 damage all the way up to 1680, which is huge amounts of damage. It is a single unit, so it's not like a team of them. I would say the same as the Pharaoh, it does lose out on just the obtainability of it. So I would say that the Rhino would be in the B grade by the Pharaoh, just under the Pharaoh, just because of the obtainability of it. Now then, next we've got the glorious Sacred Swordsman. Now he is a cool guy. He is a very cool guy. Lots of health. Just over 30,000, 31,000, 630 damage, and if you can get one to level 9, doesn't do as big a jump in damage like the Rhino one did. It goes up to 1100, health goes up to 54,000, but its ability is quite good. It's called Refraction. The Sacred Swordsman transforms into a beam of light and slashes nearby enemies. He is immune to any attacks and effects whilst transformed. Now that is without a doubt an amazing attack, and it's a magic attack of 1050 as a base attack, and he does that for a few seconds. Now, for me, that is pretty much an S rank. He's a lot easier to obtain than these two guys. I would actually put him above. I would probably put him top end A. I wouldn't say taking him straight into S rank. I'm trying to be like realistic of what I would say would be completely S rank. I may adjust this towards the end slightly, but yeah, definitely top end A without a doubt. Scholars, F. Better than jailers. Yeah, they're just crap. What I get confused is I see so many people using scholars. They have no special abilities, even though, come on, like, you could easily give it a special ability. Its quote is knowledge is power. Well, what you could do there is that when it hits like the units or something, you can gain XP or something. That'd be really cool. Welcome in, Sly. Welcome. Now, so Scholar, yeah, absolutely pants. Magical damage, even if God's level 8, just over 400. Yeah, just meh. Anybody using this mid-game to end-game, you need to question why you're using it. You may just use it because you haven't got any other good units. But yeah, Scholars, they're a one-person unit. It's not even a group of them. If it was a group of them, then maybe. But just a single Scholar, blech. Terrible. Now then, this one's a tricky one. This one is called Soul Hunter. Now the Soul Hunter, he has got chunky amounts of health. You can get him up to like level 8 quite easily. Like, he's very obtainable. I see him a lot, and you can get him just even from collecting your like daily stuff. You can get him as level 1, and you just upgrade him as naturally, and over a length of time, like I've done, like 6 months, you will easily get them up to a decent level. But if you can get them to level 8, they're at 35,000 health. They do just over 500 damage. But what's really cool is they've got lifesteal as an ability. So they actually, each attack they do, they steal life from the enemy, and the chance of stealing is 28%. So just over a quarter of the time. So every 4 hits of an enemy, they will steal their life. And at that level, at level 8, you steal up to a maximum of 7,000 health. So if you can imagine that he's got 35,000, that keeps him alive for at least another 10% or so. How you doing? So good to hear your voice. It's been a lot too long. Yeah, well, thank you, thank you, Sly. I love my Rhino Knights. Fuse. Exactly. Like, if you can get them, great. But because they're just so tricky to get hold of, and it takes such a while to get them. Yeah. Now the Soul Hunters, I do like them. I find they are useful. They're obtainable, very easy to obtain, just through general means. It's not going to cost you crazy amounts like obviously what someone mentioned in chat there with the fusing of units, which does cost you gems. I would say the Soul Hunter is up there. I would probably say he is definitely a B grade, and I would easily put him. I think probably put him there. In the middle B. I do like the Soul Hunter. He is handy. Now then, we have got good old Stoney Golem. Now, Stoney Golem, if I'm right, he has got the largest amount of health pool. So at level 8, he's got 36,000, which I think the closest from all the ones we've had is about 38,000. I'm going to double check. Did Meteor have a little bit of an edge on that? Can never remember if Meteor has more or less at level 8. Level 8, 34. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, so he is the stonkiest boy you'll ever get, and Stone Golem, without a doubt, is an S rank. And I would say that you need to have Stone Golems because they take so much focus away from the enemy. So if you have one at the front, one at the back, everybody's just going to go for Stone Golem boy. He's going to stand there going, I've got tons of health, I can keep going. Now, if you're lucky enough to get these to level 10, you are going to have so much health. It's insane. Like, a level 10 has 78,750, plus it has a damage of just over 1,500, which is crazy. Now, it does actually have a special ability as well, which is called the Will of the Stone. The Stone Golem's movement speed is reduced by 60%, so it goes super, super slow. The attack speed is reduced by 60%, so it attacks even slower. Gains a damage immunity effect that deals area damage and reduces enemies' attack and movement speed. Now, these percentages are big. 64% attack speed reduction, 64% movement speed reduction, and immune to injury by just under half. It's crazy. Poor scholars. Dev should boost them without telling anyone. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine it? And the amount of people that have scholars in their army would just be so strong out of nowhere. Yeah, scholars have got potential to be something better, but at the moment, F rank for me. But yeah, Stony boy, Stone Golem, you are good. S rank boy, we love you. Now then, we've got the Taurus Witcher. He is a cool boy. Now, Taurus Witchers, they have got an ability called Misfortune, which launches 5 magical orbs at the enemy target simultaneously. So it causes just a lot of damage in one. They're magic based. Overall, just under 500 magic damage if you get a level 8 one, and the health is not too bad. Now, if you can imagine, you have a couple of these, maybe 2 or 3. These can actually, if you spread them out throughout your formation, they could just do a barrage of magic forward. Have them behind a couple of like Brawlers or some of the other melee units, and yeah, they'll keep a lot of units at bay and cause a lot of magic damage. Now, Taurus for me, I would say, is high-end B. High-end B. That's where I would put the Taurus, because certainly you'd have a couple in your army, just like you would have with the Witch or the Nun. But I think these guys have got, without a doubt, you'd have them in your army because of the abilities they've got, where these you could potentially swap them out for something stronger if you had more Frost Archers or Palasts, or you had more Meteor Golems and Brawlers, etc. So yeah, I would say he's high-end B, without a doubt. Now then, we have got the Templar Knight, the Glorious Knight. Now, we've already had one horsey boy, which was the Rhino. He wasn't a horse. Now, the Templar Knight, he has got, if I'm right, he's got a little bit less than the Rhino. The Rhino one has more health and I'm going by level 8 because level 8 is the max you can get to. Actually, no, it's got a little bit more health than the Rhino. Very little though. It's very, very small to go by. 500 health more. So at 30,500, 480 damage, but just doesn't do as much damage as the Rhino. Now, it does have an ability called Charge, just like what the Rhino has with an ability called Trample. But the Charge it literally just does a spear can penetrate to enemies ahead. So it runs forward, spears through, and it does that usually from the start. And it's handy to have them from the side of your formations. Templar Knight for me, I just never really get them leveled up that quickly. I do get them probably as often as I get like the Soul Hunters. They're not as good as the Rhinos. I wouldn't use them a great deal. To be honest, for me, I would say they're in the C grade somewhere. and because they're a single unit, I would probably put them. I think fire mages are way better to have in the army than them, so I would probably put them in mid-C grade for me. Next, Undead Soldiers. Oh, we love the Undead Soldiers. Undead Soldiers, S rank. We love Undead Soldiers. Now, Undead Soldiers, without a doubt, should be in everybody's army. Should be upgraded to level 10 as quick as you can. At level 8, they do 7,400, 400 damage. But their ability is Revive. After the first death, the Undead Soldier will be resurrected with full HP. That alone is just amazing. And then if you were to get them to level 9, which I've started getting mine to level 9 now, is really good. They jump from 7,400 health up to 12,950, and their damage goes up to 700 from 400. Massive jump. They end up at level 10 with just over 15,000 and 840 damage. Undead Soldiers, it's just like having 2 attacks. So without a doubt, S rank, Undead Soldiers are your melee of choice, without a doubt. I would much prefer have an army of Undead than Brawlers as the melee choices, because melee choices you're looking at obviously Undead Soldiers, you're looking at Brawlers, you're looking at Pilgrims, you're looking at Bandits, you're looking at Inquisitors and Harbingers. Yeah, Undead, top of the board. Top of the board. Next one, we have the Viking Warriors. Myself, I think these guys are stupid. These guys are one unit, so it's not even a group of them. If it was a group of them, maybe that would be better. Their ability, which I think is same again, not that great. Viking Warriors fly into a rage and get bonus attributes when his health drops below 50%. When they go crazy, they get 10% attack speed, a 10% attack increase, and 10% movement speed. I'm sorry, but that percentage increase is pathetic. You know, you've just lost 50% of your health, you go in rage, Vikings, Berserkers, that sort of thing. You don't get a 10% increase. You would have so much more than that. You would at least be like 40% increase in all of those. And that might make the Viking Warrior better. But for me, Viking Warrior, no. Your low end for me, you are literally maybe low end D. I don't like you. Next ones, we have got the Voodoo Dolls. Now, Voodoo Dolls. My boy, Voodoo Dolls are good. They are very handy to have in your army. Now, they're not like direct units that you want for like health and physical, because their health, even at high level, is low. Their attack is okay, but their main thing is they put a status above enemies. It curses the enemies. If the Voodoo Doll is then injured, the target will receive the same damage. If the Voodoo Doll dies, the target will receive huge damage. Curse causes magic damage to the boss, and I believe it says here true damage of 10,000. So basically, Voodoo Dolls are walking curses. Very, very handy to have. Just like the witch having the curses of the pumpkin, Voodoo Dolls very, very handy to have in your army as doing considerable damage when they do end up dying. I would say that the Voodoo Doll is definitely in the A grade, and it's probably ahead of these two because they're singles. These are a group of Voodoo Dolls as well, so you don't just get one Voodoo Doll, you get 9 Voodoo Dolls. Yeah, so very, very handy. Next one, we have the Totem. The Witchcraft Totem, I believe it's called. Now, the Witchcraft Totem is a legendary unit. A little bit harder to get hold of. Good, massive sort of health. Over 30,000 once you get to level 8. Pretty obtainable as a legendary compared to things like we've seen before, like the Rhinos and the Pharaohs. Now, the ability on this one is Primal Fear. So basically, causing the enemy to run away from you. Now, if you've got one of these, and I honestly think you only need one of these, have them at the sort of middle front, and you're looking at making those units run away scared, without a doubt. So I think this one is in this region here, maybe even high B, because the health is considerable. You're looking at level 8 30,000, 50,000 level 9, and level 10 is 67, and it's got some good physical damage, so it does fight. Unlike the Nun, it doesn't actually fight, but the Nun does a lot of obviously healing, which is a big help to the teams. So I would say the Witch is probably ahead of the Taurus, so top B, top of the B. There we go. Now the next one, there's only 4 units left, and this is the last one before we're into the new units. Now the Yasha I like. Compared to the Ogre, I much prefer have an army of Yashas than an army of Ogres. Now the Yashas, if you can get them to level 8, which is very doable even early on, they got 30,000 health, 460 damage, but their ability is the Spike of Darkness. Yashas use their weapon to stab at the enemy, dealing a lot of damage to the enemy, over 1,000 damage, head, and it stuns them. That's the bonus. Compared to the Ogre, who just bashes them away, the Yasha stuns. Now, to have that huge amount of health, the damage, the Yasha, I would say, is a very good unit to have. You probably, I think I would probably still hold 1 or 2 in mid game, unless I was going at some of these top A's here and the S's here and some of the B's. Now Yasha, nowhere near the Ogre. I would say the Yasha is at least, I want to throw. I don't think he's top C. He's definitely up here. I'd say he's. Is he better than the Soul? Probably better than Soul. Because of the stun. The stun is really handy. Yeah, there you go. You deserve it. You deserve the B grade. Well done. Lots of B's. Remember now, I am only 6 months into the game. I'm probably gonna it'd be interesting to do this video or do another stream like this in another 6 months time to see if my thought process changes. Also, the developers may actually bring some more units in, just like the next 3 we're going to be looking at here. Now these are the 3 newest units that they have added. We have got the Shadow Ninja, the Undead Warrior, and the Angel. Now, myself, I'm going to double check because I want to know exactly. I'm not using them in my army currently because I haven't got any of them high enough. Now, the closest one I've got to top end is the Undead Warrior. He's level 7 with me. I then have a level, I'm going to say it's level 6, no? I have a level 5. Yeah. So I have a level 5 Angel and a level 5 Shadow Ninja. So I'm pretty low behind. I know a few people in the clan have already got theirs to level 8. There is a lot of I would say it's like negativity over the units because it is so unsure of how good they are. Now, some of these have got their specifics at the moment where they are really good in the other modes, like if you're fighting Cerberus or if you're fighting Cyclops. For me, if we're going to go with the Shadow Ninja, which his ability is he swings around basically. He's best positioned on the sides, and he does a shadow strike at the beginning of the battle. Shadow Ninja will stealthily go around the enemy side to sneak attack. Now, that is a cool ability, but we found out that during that move, he can get hit. So if anybody's got any rangers that pick up on that, they're dead before they even cause damage. So that is a big negative at the moment. The concept is nice, but honestly, I think out of the three of them, the Shadow Ninja has really failed at the moment, ability wise. If we're looking at some of the stats, if you were to get one to level 8, 9,000 health, 650 damage. Now, a lot more damage than a lot of units at level 8. Health is pretty mediocre, pretty sort of standard around that. If you to get one to level 9, 15,000 health and 1,100 damage. So huge amounts of damage, but they've got to get there. So high-end Shadow Ninjas, yeah, probably are going to be quite good in certain situations. So with that in mind, and because obviously it's still early days with this, I'm going to say that the Shadow Ninja is a C grade, and I think I would probably put him just ahead of these guys. Just ahead of these guys. That's what I'm thinking. Now then, the next one, I'm sure I'm going to get a bit of criticism on these ones because it is obviously new units. But all we can do is work out what we can from it. Now, the Undead Warrior, for me, even though it doesn't have an ability, the Undead Warrior has got 9,900 health and 570 attack. So if we were to compare that to the next nearest, which is the Undead Soldier, at level 8, is got 7,400 and 400. So the Undead Warrior has got nearly 2,000 more health and over 170? Is it 170? Yeah, 170 damage. So it's got more damage, more health, more defense. Is it defense? 60 defense versus an Undead Soldier? I'll double check that. Oh, same defense. Same defense. So, for me, the Undead Warrior has potential. Unfortunately, I would say the Undead Warrior wouldn't be S rank like the Undead Soldier, because the Undead Soldier can revive if it doesn't get killed, if it gets killed straight away. This was one of my arguments for the Undead Warrior, is that the Undead Warrior has more health, has more damage, so it can cause more damage as soon as possible and survive a bit longer. But the Undead Soldier, if it can survive its first life for a bit, then it definitely has the edge. Because it's got 2 chances to stay alive, it's got 2 full HPs, which is more than the 1 HP from the Undead Warriors. So I'm going to say the Undead Warrior has potential, and I'm going to put it as a low-end A. I'm going to put him low-end A. That's where I'm thinking he should be, because he's got so much potential with it. If he had some sort of ability, maybe they would change that, I don't know. It would probably push him further up in the A's, maybe even into S rank for me. Now then, Angel, the very last one. Angel is, if you can get one to level 8, I currently got one at level 5, and he's got over just short of 12,000 health, so pretty tanky. You get one to level 8, you're on 25,000 health, 120 defense. It doesn't attack at all, so it's just like the nun, doesn't attack, but its ability is called Divine Protect. Angel will release a divine blessing every 5 seconds, and all allied units within a certain range will gain the evasion ability for a while. Now, this one's quite ambiguous when it just says for a while. It benefits from it every 5 seconds. I think we had another unit that did every 3 seconds. Pumpkin did every 3 seconds, which is really, really good. So every 5 seconds gives evasion. For me, I think that is ability-wise, they could have done so much more with it. It's an angel, it's divine. Surely, instead of evasion, they should have done immunity for a shorter period. So the angel comes in and every 5 seconds casts immunity to units in a short area around the angel. They're immune for, let's just say, 2 seconds. That would make the angel, one, its legendary status, how hard it is to get an angel without using fusions and things like that. I honestly think the angel could be so much better than it is. But at the moment, the angel for me is very much, it's better than the shadow. It's got the evasion ability. I would probably put it in C grade. That's where I would put the angel. So now, having a quick look over these, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'd actually put the Rhino ahead of the Pharaoh though, because the Pharaoh is much harder to get hold of. Rhino's a little bit easier to get hold of. So I'd put the Rhino ahead of the Pharaoh on that one. But overall, this is my tier list for Art of War troops. We have got at the very top Frost Archers, Stone Golems, Pelasts, Undead Soldier, and Magic Apprentices. Without a doubt, my top 5. Only 5 made it into my S rank. Now I know a lot of people would probably put these 5 here into S rank somewhere, I'm sure. But they're definitely in the top end. We've got the Sacred Swordsman, we've got the pirate ship, we've got the Meteor Golem, we've got Pumpkin Guard, Brawlers, Voodoo Dolls, Nun, Dark Witch, and then the Undead Warrior at low end A. Now we would have then the Witchcraft Totem, Taurus Witcher. Then we got the Orc Hunters, the Rhino Raiders, or whatever they're called. The Pharaoh Ballistas. I love the Ballistas. Yasha, Soul Hunters, Goblin Tech, Pilgrims, Priest, Mage. Then we've got the Ice Mage. My personal favorite on that one. Necromancers, Angel, Paladin. They're more useful, and situational. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. These are more useful, yeah, in the middle of C there. Cactuses, you've got mages, then the ninja, and then we've got the Templar Knight bandits, ogres, archers, catapults, and Vikings. Then we've got the Beastmaster, which I just don't like. I like it, like the health is huge and things like that, but honestly, I can't see unless you've got like an army of them. Whether that is going to be beneficial, I really don't, but it is what it is. You got the Daemon, the Harbingers, Inquisitors, Bombers, and then we've got the flat out F tier, which is the Iron Guard, Infantry, Scholars, and Hell Jailers. Now, many people will probably say, oh, put this in F, because these guys are new and they're just like meh, but you know, there's still a lot of testing to be done, and you never know, they may amend it a little bit. So yeah, we're just going to see how it goes. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I may, like I said, I may do another one of these where in about 6 months time, I'll come back to it and we'll do another one, and we'll see if my alliances to some of these units change, and go for something a little different. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. This part of the video will go up on the channel as a separate entity to obviously the stream. So yeah, let's have a look. Oh, there is actually another unit that I did not see. I must have missed that off the list. Shocking. I did. So there is another unit, yeah. So there is another unit, I do apologize, which is Ghost Assassins. For some reason, when I took the images, that one didn't get added in. So there is a Ghost Assassin. Now, Ghost Assassins, they teleport to the rear of the enemy, which without a doubt is kind of like the Shadow Ninja, but way better, because they instantly teleport right to the back. Now, for me, the Ghost Assassins, they are S rank. They are S rank here. I would put them in here. They're up there with MAs. They've got their uses perfectly here. The Ghost Assassins have got a decent amount of health at 7,000 to 450, and then jump up to 12,000 and just under 800 at level 9. Ghost Assassins are probably going to be in many people's armies anyway. So yeah, apologies for that one. For some reason, my images didn't drag in the Ghost Assassins. So yeah, there I would put them at low S rank next to the MAs, because without a doubt you're going to have at least 1 or 2 Ghost Assassins in the army to jump to the back of the enemy's army, just like the MAs do, and cause that initial rear damage to the enemy. Very, very handy unit. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed that video, and yeah, if you like this content and you want more Art of War, not Age of War, thinking Age of Empires. If you want more Art of War Legions content, just going over anything gameplay or just reviewing stats and things like that, just let me know in the comments below. If you're in stream now, make sure to click that like button, and if you liked the content, click that like button on the video as well, and do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Awesome. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this little mini stream of a relatively new game that I've been partaking. It's a free mobile game, guys, so if you want to join in at any time, hit me up in my Discord or our clan's Discord, which is the Hunters, which the link in the description has the link to their Discord as well. Lovely group of people. Cannot say enough that how nice they are and helpful they are, and we're constantly learning from each other and finding new things and getting surprised by certain heroes that we use and formations we use, etc. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. I am interested in doing a few more pieces of content over this game, especially ideas for new units. And you never know, maybe that might inspire the devs. If they see like an idea or hear an idea, they might be like, oh, I like that. And you never know, it might end up in the game at some point. Yeah, never know. So I might do a video on something like that, like ideas. But if you guys have anything you'd like to share, yeah, just hit me up in the Discords or drop a comment on the video once we upload that over the next few days. What's this? Angel is C. How can you say something so bold and so controversial? Where would you put it then, Craig? Where would you put the angel? Are you an F? F for the angel? This is the thing with tier lists. I love it. It causes that sort of debate over things. Going, no, you're right. No, you're wrong. No, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong. Love it. But hey, look, it's got potential with it, but yeah, it's in the middle for me. It's in the middle. I can't put the angel down with these bastards. These guys down here, they're all terrible. Maybe the only one out of that group, there's like 2 in this group here that are kind of worth it, which is the Beastmaster is worth it at some point, and maybe I can't even say Ogres, because Ogres, like, you just get away from them so quickly. Like archers, maybe, I don't know, until you get frost archers. So difficult. These ones here, you're like, why do I have them? And if you have to ask why, then they're crap. And I guess the angel does fall into that category. Maybe I've given it too much credit because it's new and fancy and orange. Oh man. Well, I hope you all have a lovely evening. I will be probably back in I don't know when I'll like do a mini stream like this again. I'll probably do some other content that will probably be more video based around this game, and I'll do some recording of the game from my phone to actually like grab some of the content there, like tips and tricks that we find and things like that. And yeah, I'll probably be more video based rather than stream based. I may stream the Diablo Immortal. See you around Diablo. Yeah, exactly. I may do a mini stream of that. That could be fun just for the first like day. Just do a little bit of an hour or two streaming of Diablo Immortal. So I may be back on June 2nd when that's out, which is on PC as well, which is great because I wouldn't play it on mobile. So yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that came by. Huge thank you for anybody chatting in chat, and thank you for the likes and just spending time with me this afternoon on a topic that I'm pretty new to, and I'm always open to discussing just ideas, and yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. We'll see in 6 months if my thoughts on this setup changes, and it'd be interesting if we're adding more units into this field. It'll be exciting. Awesome. Well, guys, I will see you soon, and stay safe, stay awesome, and all the best. Bye, everybody. Bye.